Welcome back. It's Journey On, and welcome back, Pastor Karl, back from
Thank you.
warmer weather.
Yeah, much warmer weather for most of the days. And then when we left Florida on Monday, it was 48 degrees or something. So still much warmer, but my goodness, you'd think
back into it. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of prepared us for flying into Fargo and getting off the plane. So
Did it though?
no, it really,
no. Unless they packed some snow around as you guys were boarding the plane there. I can't imagine.
They opened a window on the plane. Here, get ready.
No, well, we're glad to have you back. It's good that
awesome.
It's good that we all take that time, and I think it's important we could talk about here that rest, and whether it's an opportunity to get someplace where it's warmer or just take some time off the busyness of work. We were talking in the pre-show about the idea of just stepping away from that daily busy routine that each individual and couples and families and communities all have. And I think it's important to take care of our minds and our souls and recover and recharge. God wants us to do that. And it's nice that we do. So I'm glad you guys made the time to do it.
Yeah. And now that you say it like that, you're absolutely right. When you fall into a routine, even something as amazing as preparing a message or preparing for a service or going to service, you can maybe fall into a little bit of a routine, almost go on autopilot. So I'm really excited to be back and preparing for this week, just be part of it all. Absolutely missed you guys. Watch both services and the Journey On. Watched all that, and it's great that we have that as an option. But you and I both know, and I think most people who've experienced live versus Memorex will say it's live it's so much more, just to be there in person. So I'm excited to do that again.
Excellent, and we'll be happy to have you back. We're sorry we missed you here in both locations, but this last Sunday, a couple days ago in Bismarck, was Dippity Doodah, and it was our
Tell me about
potluck.
Dippity Doodah.
Oh, so dippy! All the good dips. There was the veggie dip. There was a fruit dip. There were dips for chips. There was dips for breads. There was mini corn dogs to dip into ketchup and mustard.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's
even
great.
some desserts and some really good guacamoles and dips with meat, and it was good dips. It was a good idea, and it came off pretty well, and we had a good time
Awesome.
in fellowship. It was nice to have folks stick around, and then we decided to add games in as part of it. So as we were winding down with the food, we brought some games out and had a good time. As a result, I bought a new game on Amazon. There's a game that the Millers brought about horse racing, a horse racing board game. Some places call it horse racing chess, but it's a combination. So you've got horses on a board. It looks kind of like a bigger, wider. I just lost it. What's the card game where you have the pegs in the board?
Cribbage?
Cribbage. It's like a bigger board of that with a bunch of horses, and it has dice and cards and chips, like poker chips.
Oh, wow.
All of that involved.
Got everything.
It was everything in one, and it was so much fun. And you're rooting for your horse, and the chips were flying, and we were having a good time. So the Millers brought that. We played it. I got it because I'm going to share it with my family now too. It's a fun game.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So yeah, we did that, and I think we'll continue with that mindset as well. But yeah, maybe next time around you'll be able to have. Oh,
I'd love
also,
to try that.
I know starting next month, there's a plan to start having potlucks in Fargo on the third Saturday of each month.
Correct.
Excellent, excellent. I think the plan in Bismarck, I heard this, is probably going to be soups, maybe a soup cook-off, maybe. We'll see.
That sounds about right. And as a matter of fact, in looking at the calendar, there's going to be a couple, maybe more than a couple each year, or specifically this year, where the Sunday is the first. And I know you really like that when things line up. So
yes,
there's going to be a couple of those, which would mean our
If
Saturday, the next week in Fargo would be our
gotcha.
outlook. I think is probably just so we can keep it on the third, just so people don't have to, roll the dice. And I wonder, am I bringing a stew? Am I not bringing a stew?
You know what? If you're ever in doubt, if you're please pass this along to everybody
Yeah.
in the church family. If you're ever in doubt, bring it. Just
Yep.
bring the food. If it's not
Yep.
potluck week, I promise it's not going to go to waste.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely
That's-
correct. Yeah.
and we'll help. You know what? We'll even donate so you can make something again for the next week, so you won't be
Sure.
out any
Yep.
funds or anything. We'll make sure it's.
And
I
we'll
think.
critique if you're looking for notes. We'll critique.
Oh, why not? Why not have a pre-chili cook-off week where the week before, if you want, we'll give
I
you.
mean, yeah,
But matter of fact, let's start now. I know it happens in the fall and wintertime, but every week, if you want to bring chili, we're going to make
bring
you
it chili.
a
Yeah.
champion. We're
Give you
going to tell
some
you exactly
notes.
how to
Yeah.
win. All right. So let's back. So we've talked about food. Check. Um,
Yep. Nailed it.
and we're on January 20th of 2026. This
Mm,
last weekend, we talked about James 4 from the life lessons from a little brother. And
right.
I feel like I don't need to review it. I was there.
Sure.
I was so did you, and I know you did mention, and thank you for taking the time to watch the message
Yeah.
online. Any thoughts or notes that you had? This would be the time that we get to reverse
Let's
roles
just
here.
reverse roles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought right away in the beginning, I thought it was awesome the way you talked about James kind of boiling down to devotion
Hmm.
and how that was learning from each other, building each other up, and committing to each other, committing to being together, committing to each other. I just thought that was fantastic how you did that. Not really a note, just more of a call out. So you get extra cred.
Oh, thank
And then,
you.
and then
Just
you
add a
had
star to my
something.
board here. Yeah.
There you go. Send your gold star. You said something that you and I had talked about in preparing, and Amy, I and Amy had talked about in preparing for this series, and you said it again, and it just hit me different. Imagine having the Messiah as a
Mm,
sibling, and I did when you said that. I spent quite a while thinking about that, and there are pros and cons to that for
right.
sure. And
Right.
you think about James, and you mentioned this, that James did not believe Jesus was who he said he was until after he saw the resurrected Christ. And I'm just thinking, how what would go through James's mind? Like, how when somebody you watch a movie or something, you don't get it, and someone explains it, or this is
Mhm.
maybe even a better example, The Sixth Sense. Have you seen that movie?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
If you're going to do spoilers, anybody that wanted to have watched it already has. So you're good. Go ahead and
Okay,
spoil
good,
it.
good. So you
Yep.
get to the end of that movie, and all of a sudden you realize
Hmm.
that a character that's been a major part of the movie is actually deceased.
Right.
And and then they go back and flash all these things. You're like, I didn't see that. I don't
How
remember
did I
seeing.
miss it? Yeah.
How could I miss it? And I'm thinking that James was probably like you and I were in a movie theater when we saw
Hmm.
that and went, no way.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Oh man, I
yeah,
missed
yeah,
so much. I missed so much time.
yeah.
And
So
I
I thought that was really, really neat. And then,
and I do, if you don't
oh,
mind,
go
I
ahead.
do want to say
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
that was something that played into this series, life lessons from a little brother. Um, what I miss, and I think it could be true for anybody that passes away in our life, right? Like anybody that dies in our lives,
Yeah,
what did we miss out on? What did they miss out on in our lives? My dad died when my kids were little.
for
And
sure.
that's what really broke my heart when dad died was that he wasn't going to get to be their grandpa. And
Oh,
when my little brother died, what did we miss out on as, men that were in our 40s and 50s and 60s and growing old together like we're meant to, right? So
right.
those things and that really did. So thank you for pointing that out. And that was part of what I was talking about with James also. What did he miss out on in all of those, those 30 some years that they would have had together?
Yeah,
And if he would have followed, but at
right.
least he figured it out and wrote a book that we could still read. I mean, there's good
Yeah,
news there.
well, exactly. So he figured it out. You're right. And how many people in the realm of Christianity, in the realm of salvation, are going, and this is, I'm sorry, this got pretty deep for me, but are going to be kneeling before
Mm,
their Messiah, and he's going to say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." Right?
yeah.
Because they don't figure it out, and really, that's what James is trying to tell his
Right.
readers
Hmm.
is Yes, the end is coming. Actually, we're going to talk about that in five. Jesus is coming. Be prepared. He is coming back. Live like he's coming back today, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I thought that was just really an amazing. What the way you said that, it got me thinking about all that stuff. And then you talked about when we deeply desire things, if we don't get them, we kill and fight among ourselves. And then you had us really think about that. That's exactly what's happening around
Hmm.
the world. Is there are so many people
Right.
that have turned their because desires are all from God, right?
Hmm.
Desires are a good thing. That's why we procreate because we have
Right.
desires. That's why we want to build things and eat, so because we have a desire, you know.
Hmm.
Satan twists those desires, and once we get that twisted version and we all of a sudden make that fact, our feelings become fact. Well,
Hmm.
then it's a recipe for disaster, which
Right.
is exactly what I think the point you were making is that's what we're in right now is desires have just become so skewed and getting back to God's original plan, you know, when we're aligned, and we'll talk more about that, you and I right now, and more about that this weekend, is when our will and our desire and our purpose align with God's will in design and purpose, desire and design also,
Yeah. Right.
that we're not set up for failure, we're set up for success. Now success is going to look a lot different than what most people
Hmm.
hear. When they hear success, they think bank account, house, job, you know, all these power, um, and that's not what success is. You can be very successful and live a modest life and things like that. So our desires just get so screwed up, and I was wondering if you wanted to expound on that a little bit.
Right. It comes down to what our idols are and how we're building our kingdom. And I just think in terms because I have a kingdom of I mentioned this in the message. I have a kingdom of gadgets.
Yeah, gadgets.
You come to my house and it's a kingdom of gadgets. I have all of these things that I've built up and I could spend my time fine-tuning them, adding to them, doing my job so I could buy more of them. And then that becomes my little kingdom. That becomes the thing that I'm focused on and what I give my desire
Yeah,
to, right? That's what I spend my time on. And then we build that out into communities and taxes aren't evil, but what are we raising taxes for? What are we focusing on? The easy example right now is we look at all of the different bubbling wars that are about
oh
to
sure.
blow, and it's
Yeah,
about resources, and it's about land, and it's about ideals, and we're like you said, we're not aligned. So whatever
right.
we're focused on, whatever we're giving our time to, and our resources to, that's what we're honoring. And if it's not God, then James would say it's not right,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
I would agree. Yeah.
where your treasure is, there your heart is also,
Hmm.
right?
For sure.
So you had, and with that same idea, you gave an example of someone praying for a winning lottery ticket. And I love this example. You know, if you God, if you could just give our family a winning lottery ticket, we could give to the
Yeah.
church. We could do so much good. And talk about that a little more because I
Right.
think that's just
It
a
was,
fantastic
yeah. There were
example.
there were a couple zing. I thought, if James can put zingers in, I thought I could too. And
Well,
I
you are
wanted,
James, so it's
yeah,
just
I am,
it
I
follows.
am. And it was a thought that I had during the week, and I don't know. I don't know if there was a big lottery recently. I've paid the daydream tax before, where I've bought one of those big lottery tickets and in hopes of winning. And
Yeah.
I've created spreadsheets on
Oh
who I was
wow.
going to give how much to and how, and then I made it variable so that if I won this much, it would be this much and this much and this much. And afterwards I thought, why? No, if I were to win a lottery, what would that do for my life? And everybody thinks, well, that won't happen to me. But we hear all the bad stories about
Right.
how
Right.
it corrupts. And I think if we're praying for the lottery winnings is different than praying for God to give us the bounty that he wants us to have. How we get there may be a lottery, but I don't want to be praying for that. I want to keep I don't see anything in the Bible about hoping that we're going to get rich. I see in the Bible
Okay.
that
Yeah.
we rely on God to give us what he needs us to have so that we can do his will. So I don't think lottery fits in there very well.
I think you're exactly right. And I love that you have that take on it because so many people, and you're exactly right. I read a book years ago. It was the Publishers Clearinghouse winners. I don't know if you remember
Mm.
that.
Oh yeah.
Man used to go door to door and he would give somebody $1 million check, and that was a big deal. And
Oh yeah.
there was actually in the book that I read, there was a $3 million winner that was towards the back because that was like the most money anyone had ever won on anything, and now that's laughable. I think,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. I can't even
if you
retire on that. Come on.
right, right, 3 million, man. Yeah, it's up in the billions now, which is
Yeah.
just crazy. Anyway, so in this book, as I'm reading this book, and this was well before I gave my life to Christ. So I was reading this thinking, yeah, I'm reading this book. I'm seeing all the mistakes these people made, and depression and alcoholism and
Right.
drugs and suicide was crazy. Uh, and I'm thinking, yeah, but they're not me, right?
Yeah.
And I think we all do that. Oh, I would do it so much different. But your point was, if you're not, or one of your points was, if you're not serving others and giving charitably and helping others along and providing for your family now, how is that going to change if you magnify it? And it
Hmm.
won't.
Right.
It'll actually make it harder. And James 5, next book,
Mm.
talks about that, as a matter of fact, again, because riches, God really sees the pursuit of riches as a hurdle,
Hmm.
right? And it does take so much energy, so much effort, so much focus. It easily can take your focus off Jesus. It
Yeah.
becomes, like you said, an idol. And yeah, we're warned and warned and warned. And
Hmm.
every single time there's going to be those of us who say, yeah, but I'm different.
Hmm.
I'm different. I can give my all to this, and I can give my all to God too. I can do that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You each get 100%. This world and
Right.
God. No, that's adultery. We just learned that in tape before also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Then can we move on, or did you have more to say
No,
on that?
that's really good. I know that I think the next section I talked about stealing from online streamers. I don't know if you've got notes on that or not, but that really affected a few people in Bismarck
Well,
anyway.
it does, that's like if you're talking about lying. And
Hmm.
there are in our society there are acceptable lies.
Hmm.
Um, one example would be what we do with kids every Christmas.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
we tell kids about we're basically lying to kids, and I think they're finding now they're doing studies, and children do have repercussions from their parents fabricating this whole thing. I'm trying not to
Yeah.
dance on, but everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But any parent would say, well, no, of course I'm not going to ruin that for them. It still is. It's not truth,
Mhm.
and like you said, pirating Netflix and Kate and poor Kate, and I can't remember. I didn't get her Netflix password, so I guess
See,
she
that's what
she
happens if you don't
turned over a
show
new
up.
leaf.
Yeah.
But
I think she's okay. She stuck
okay,
around
good.
for a little while and didn't seem to burst into flames or anything. So
Okay, good,
I think
good,
she worked it out with God and she'll do whatever she needs to from here.
good, good. Yeah, and but that's the thing is we like to diminish and minimalize and
Mhm.
give sin cute names, but we have to at the end of the day we have to realize sin is sin, and
Yeah.
every sin, from the what we consider to be the smallest to what we consider to be the worst, it separates us from God,
Yeah.
and
And I
and we
and I
don't
can
like
tell you,
that.
and I think this is a unique situation where I can talk to you specifically about this, and I know others would feel it too. It's tough to give a message and talk about these things because I feel like I'm throwing stones out of my glass house as I'm doing it.
Yeah,
You know, I'm not there to say I'm perfect and here you need to do this, but this
right,
is the message that we have, and if we
right.
don't talk about it, then we're keeping it in the darkness. Well, that's the thing that needs to come to light. And if
Yeah,
we
exactly.
don't bring it out here and talk about it, then Satan owns it. And
Yep.
if you are doing a thing that you know is wrong, or if you're not doing a thing that you know is right, and it's affecting your soul, you need to work it out with God. And that's the beginning and the end of that conversation for me.
Yeah.
And I have my own. I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm without, oh, hey, here's Mitzi. There she is. We get a little guest. Hi, sweetie. So anyway, that's I wanted to say that as well. And like I
Right.
said, I know that you and others that give messages, and even in
Yep.
conversations, when we call a brother or sister out, it's not because we're clear and free of that sin ourselves necessarily. but we still need to have that conversation. We have to start somewhere. If we wait for
Exactly.
somebody to be perfect to have these conversations, we don't know when that's going to happen.
That's funny. I was just going to say that if you have to be perfect before you can stand before a group of people and preach,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of quiet churches. In
Amen.
fact, all of them, all of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so thank you for pointing that out. You're exactly right. But we do want to, I mean, and we do it in love. We do it in love. No one's going up there, and I know that was probably really hard for you to deliver that because there is this inner
Yeah.
hypocrisy where you're
Yeah.
like, man, I'm just a guy, and the Holy Spirit is saying, yes, but you're also you're my mouth for today.
Right.
So
Right.
say it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there many times, and I appreciate you taking one for the team.
And it's funny you say it that way. I did talk about love at the end, and I wanted to take a little bit of time here today to talk about that
Sure.
more in terms, and I know we're really having a good conversation. I appreciate the time that we have for this each week.
Yeah.
And in James 4, he doesn't use the word love. I actually looked it up. I think he uses it twice in the first chapter, once in the second chapter, and that's it. So he has a lot of love woven in on the what to do and the what not to do's. In this particular chapter, he doesn't talk about it, but he does talk about the absence of it. See, and I think all commandments start with love and love God, love others as we love ourselves. And what I think that's the one that we usually go to, right? That's the commandment that we've been given.
Yeah.
Love God, love others as we love ourselves. He also says, Jesus tells us to love ourselves as he loves us. So there's a circular thing there that I think is really important because sometimes when I'm not feeling the best about myself, it's not very easy to love others as I love myself because I'm gonna put them in a different place. I might
Right.
I might not be in a healthy relationship at that point. But if I start with Jesus loves me, I need to love myself like he loves me. I need to love others like he loves me and I love myself and love God. All of those things kind of work in tandem. And I think that was really clear throughout James that if we
Hmm.
start with love, none of those things that he's telling us not to do even come up. It's not a part of our life.
You're right. You get the love thing figured out, and everything else kind of flows from that. Everything else
Yeah.
almost falls into place, flows into place. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I
Good.
agree.
So that was good. Thank you for the comments, the insights. It's always fun to be on this side of the Q&A in the
Yeah, I
review.
don't mind being on this side either. I like this.
Yeah, well, we'll keep doing it for sure. And I know we've got one more week of James, the
Yes.
life lessons from a little brother. I did hear, I'm not going to call out who asked, but I did have someone ask me, how far is this series going to go? And I'm like, well, you haven't read James lately, have you? And it's honestly, if I wasn't involved at the level that I am, I would have asked exactly the same
Sure.
questions. So I'm not dissing on you, brother, but it was funny to me.
Yeah,
But we are going to continue, and you're going to pick up the baton on
I
this
am. Yep,
chapter 5. All right, tell
I
us
am.
about it.
We'll be in chapter 5, and so I would suggest people read chapter 5 if they haven't already. And like you mentioned, and I think Amy also mentioned, it's it's a it's a great book on so many different levels.
Mm.
It's kind of like Proverbs where you get a bunch of
Oh yeah.
different things that all tie together,
Hmm.
right? And James does a great job of getting quite a few items. I'm going to talk about two or three this week that all tie together. And I love you had said he has a zinger at the end of each one of
Yeah.
his seems like it chapters. And what we have to remember, I always have to remind myself of this, especially when we're doing chapter by chapter, is when we write letters to each other, we don't put chapter and verse in there. And the
Right.
exact same thing is true. There weren't chapter and verse. So I'm actually going to be backing up and borrowing a little bit of chapter 4
Oh, all
to
right.
get to kickstart us into chapter 5. And chapter 5, I'm focusing on patience, prayer, and purpose. And I
Oh,
don't
nice.
have, yeah, I don't have a snappy, fun title as of yet, but those are going to be where we hit.
I'm writing it out as we talk, and normally I wouldn't say anything, but I wrote out porpoise. Patience, prayer, and
Yeah,
porpoise changes your message a little bit, but I think you
a
can
little,
have
well, a little bit, but I did just come from the sea. So,
so the three
so
P's.
Yeah, the three
of James
P's.
chapter 5. Excellent.
Yeah,
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Will you, weather permitting, are you planning to come up to Bismarck and see everyone?
I absolutely am. Yes, I will be there
And what about
Sunday.
Fargo? Are you going to make it to the Fargo
I'm
location
gonna do
also
my
on
best.
Saturday? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna
See if
do
you
my
can.
best. I have the
Oh,
key, so
I'm also and Wednesdays. I just happened to know this because we had the conversation, but I know Wednesdays, the Bible study in Fargo.
yep,
There's it's a meeting of family, right? Everybody comes
yep,
together, and you
yep.
guys do a potluck actually each week. Like you
We
get
do, we
together,
do.
and there's the
Yes.
theme. I'm excited for you guys. Tomorrow
I don't
night's
know what it is.
theme.
Oh, I
I get to
do.
tell you, it's
Yeah, go ahead.
cereal. Your
Yes.
favorite breakfast cereals.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to ask because the way my mind works, I'm like, is somebody bringing milk? Because it would be really disappointing. And there is somebody bringing the
There's
milk.
at least two people bringing milk.
Yep.
I saw in the we have it's a I call it a text, but it's not. It's
Yep.
a group thing where a bunch of people can be on there because apparently text can only have so many people.
Oh, gotcha.
And there's one person who's bringing whole milk, and there's
Okay.
another who doesn't drink whole milk, so they're bringing half milk, I guess.
Okay.
And then there's some that said I'll bring almond milk.
Sure.
So
You've got
we
to, yep.
yeah,
It's
and
going to
I
be
just started
exciting.
thinking
Yeah.
it is just the milk alone, that
Just
many choices.
the, so many choices. So
It
cereal.
is going to be fun. I love it
Yeah.
when we shake it up like that. Absolutely.
Excellent. And then in Bismarck, I'll just promote this one. The men's group is meeting this Thursday. We meet at the church. Last week we went out and had a meal together. It's nice to break bread once in a while. And since it's all just guys, we don't even pretend like we're going to do pot. It would be just bags of chips mostly if we
There you
tried.
go. There you go.
So we
And
went
some
out had a
nice
nice meal. But this coming week, then I've the past couple weeks we didn't get to it. So this week we're going to do kind of a review of what grow looked like for each of us this past
nice.
year.
Yeah.
And we have some verses to go with it. And then also we're going to kind of preview and think about what devote looks like and what does devotion look like for this coming
Nice.
year. And there's some
Oh,
Bible
that's
verses
awesome.
that we've got for that. So, men, come on out. Everybody, all guys are accepted to the men's group. Happy to have you, and we can get you on the. We're not big enough to not have text yet. So once
Okay.
we get to that point, I'll ask you guys what you use. I won't ask you because I
Don't ask me. It's got a little button on my phone.
and I bet it has thousands of unread messages because I've seen your phone's messages, and
Probably.
I can't imagine what it looked like when you guys got back to the U.S. I bet it just
It was pretty ugly.
overheated. It was on fire. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was.
All right.
That's why my
Um,
pocket was so warm. All right.
yeah. Also coming up, we've got revivals with a plural with an S in
Yep.
Fargo, February 1st. February 1st, Fargo revival at
Yeah.
7 p.m. And in Bismarck now, we're going to try our first revival. Nope, we're not going to try it. We're just going to do it.
Gonna do
It's
it.
February 14th. So Valentine's is a Saturday. And in Bismarck here, we're going to also shoot for 7 o'clock and
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. And that's a great opportunity to invite people. This is one of those things that it's if it's important to you, it's a shorter message. There's a lot of music and
Yeah.
a lot of fellowship
Yeah.
and we're focusing on what we've called is it seekers and new believers, right?
Yep.
Some folks
Seekers,
that
new
are
believers. Correct.
yeah. Hi, there's a seeker and new believer. Hi, Mitzi. So that's those are the things coming up. I know in Fargo there's a drive right now for winter clothing. I believe that's
Yep.
still happening one more week or so. Uh,
I've been out of it a little
oh
bit,
yeah,
but
you've been out
I
of it.
believe news.
Yeah,
I saw the flyer.
you didn't have to deal with winter clothes where you were at. So it's
No,
out of sight,
not
out of mind.
right.
Perfect. All right. Well, as we wrap up, any final thoughts, any challenge or anything for us as
Yes,
we finish off this
I
week?
do. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I do have a challenge. Now, we're coming to the end of James, and
Mhm.
we are going to be starting probably not right away, but we're going to be starting an end times um, series, and that is your rapture and second coming and tribulation, both yeah, great and just regular old tribulation, and then
Okay.
all of the things, the New Jerusalem, and all those things. We're going to be touching on a lot of those things. Um, so what I would like people to be considering doing is praying for our leadership team, and
Mm,
that's our board, and that's our preaching staff of which you're a member of, just for wisdom and
yeah.
clarity, and just to let the Holy Spirit flow through because we are in we're in a season with our church where I believe the the group that we have, the people that we have are drawing so close. And that sometimes this sounds almost counterproductive, but when you see a really tight-knit group of people, it's even an inviting group of people like we are, it's hard to see yourself fit into that because it feels like, wow, these guys have been together forever.
Mm,
And as great as it is to be that type of family, what I would like people to be praying for is guidance
yeah,
in our series, guidance in our outreach programs, guidance in our serving, our community, guidance in the way we invite.
yeah,
Just be praying for us to grow the way God wants us to grow, because I know for a fact, and it's scriptural, that God does not want us to get so tight that we don't look appealing to outsiders, and we're nowhere near that. But you know what I'm saying,
yeah. It's
right?
good to be
Is
mindful of that. Yeah, just to
be
remember.
mindful,
Yeah,
man. We need to be inviting people in and letting them in on the jokes, and just bringing them in. And because
amen.
I love what we have, I know you love what we have. Everybody, there's nobody I know that wouldn't love what we have, and it's just making it available to them.
Mm.
So just be
Yep.
be praying on that growth for our church, devotion, really, if you want.
Oh, perfect. That's a great way to think of it and a great way to live our life. So thank you for making the time to watch this with us,
Mm.
whether it's on regular speed or if you set it to 2 times and made us sound like chipmunks, which you can do.
I still don't know how to do that.
I'll show you know what I was going to say I'll show you sometime, but no, I'll just do it for you so you can
Okay,
see it. I
that's
think that'll
better.
be fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, God bless everybody and get some rest, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.